Right, welcome to episode 3 of Captain Haddock's Homeschool University. Now, last time we did Nitwit, and the time before that we did Bashi-bazouk. And the Bashi-bazouk, if you remember, happened around 1805. We're telling a story about the start of modern Egypt. And when we were talking about nitwits, we talked about bigwigs, which were about 100 years earlier. Today, we're going to talk about the word filibuster. So now the word filibuster is going to have 500 years of history in it. So it's going to be one word, 500 years of history. Now, filibuster is one of Haddock's favourite words, along with bashi-bazouk and nitwit. Here he is: brutes, filibusters, nitwits, steamrollers, abacadarians.
You had that one for
Exactly, yeah, exactly. We're going but here we have buccaneers, filibusters, bagpipers, gallows fodder. And here we have bandits, filibusters, pirates. So filibusters is quite a common one. Now, what is a filibuster? So it's quite complicated, and I'm going to have to explain it to you with a little example. Then I'm going to talk about why Haddock uses the word filibuster, because it doesn't sound like the kind of word that he would use. And then we're going to have a quick talk about the magic of words and how they kind of change and spread over time. Right. Okay, now, some families have family rules, like things that you have to do in the family. And imagine you had a rule that said anyone can speak without being stopped. Like, we respect each other, and if you want to speak, then you can just keep on speaking, and we're not going to stop you, because it would be mean to stop you. So you can imagine that as one rule, right? And you can imagine another rule, which was we don't do anything unless most of us agree to do it. Yeah? So imagine these are your two family rules, and you realise that mum and dad want to go to the park, but you want to stay in the house. How could you get them to stay in the house? You can start talking. And as long as you're talking, they can't stop you. And as long as you're talking, they can't ask the question, who wants to go to the park? When suddenly you realise that there's only one of you and there's two of them. So if you have somewhere which has these kind of rules, anyone can speak without being stopped, and you can't do anything until everyone agrees, then you can stop people doing things by just talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And that is called a filibuster. A filibuster is talking so that people can't decide to do things. Now, it's actually quite a commonly used word, because over in America, they have a place there called the Senate, which is the most important law-making bit of the American government. And in the Senate, you can do a filibuster. You can stop the American government making a decision by just talking. And so here I have an example of a filibuster. Let's see if I can get this going. Which is Senator Cruz reading Green Eggs and Ham. Do you know Green Eggs and Ham? Let's see if we can get this.
And I green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Would you like them here or there?
Do you know this story?
I would not like them here or there. I
You
would
know
not
green
like
eggs and
them
ham.
anywhere.
You
I
know green
do
eggs
not
and ham?
like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am.
Well, what you have here is you have here a senior lawmaker in America standing up in the Senate, the most senior lawmaking bit of America, and reading a children's book, Green Eggs and Ham, just because the more he reads, the less people can make a decision. Right, so that's what a filibuster is. But the thing is, it's not illegal. It's not against the law. It's just not really in the spirit of things. So if we go back to those family rules, the first rule was we're never going to stop you because we're going to show you respect. And the second rule is we're only going to do things if we all agree to do them together. And to filibuster is to abuse, to use that first rule to stop the second. So it's not illegal, but it's not really in the spirit of things. It's not really fair. But what's strange is that's not what Captain Haddock would say. He wouldn't say to someone, that's not really in the spirit of things. He gets more angry than that. So why does he use the word filibuster? So to answer that question, we have to go back 500 years and move from America to the Netherlands. Okay. So here is a picture of the Atlantic Ocean. Here is Ted Cruz in North America. And over here in the Netherlands, I have a picture of a pilot. And in the Netherlands, they called pirates Vrijbuiters, which means people who get free booty. Free means you don't have to pay for it. Booty is, you know what booty is, it's like gold and stuff that you might get at sea. So, the Dutch called pirates Vrijbuiters. Got that? Now, it turns out that, what's happening here? The English turned that into freebooter, and the French turned that into filibustier. They just heard them say freebooter, and the French said, freebooter, let's say filibustier. And the Spanish heard that, and they said, let's call them filibusteros. So a filibustero is actually a pirate. By the time it comes to the Spanish, it's a particular kind of pirate. For example, Sir Francis Drake. Sir Francis Drake was a great British pirate. He was the original filibustero. And he was a bit like a mercenary. So he's a bit like a Bashi-bazouk. He's a bit like somebody who was employed as a soldier, but not as a real soldier. But unlike mercenaries, with the Bashi-bazouks, if you remember, you had to pay them, otherwise they wouldn't fight for you. The deal with a filibustero was that you weren't paid, but if they found anything, if they found any money, if they found any treasure, they could just take it for themselves. So, Sir Francis Drake was the first original filibustero, and he took a lot of money from the Spanish. And he's allowed to do that by the English. And so what he was he was a pirate, sponsored, supported by one country. He wasn't paid by that country, but he's allowed to just take things when he found them. So that was the word filibustero. That is, I think, the word that Captain Haddock was using. And here we have Sir Francis Drake with a pirate eye patch and a pirate hat. Because Captain Haddock quite likes calling people pirates and buccaneers. And so that's the word that he's using when he says filibuster. But we have this question, which is how do we get from filibustero, a pirate like Sir Francis Drake, to Ted Cruz standing in the Senate reading green eggs and ham because he doesn't want people to make a law? Okay? And this is the next bit of our story, which is filibustero turned into the word filibuster in South America with this guy, William Walker. He was American, he came from North America, but he decided he wanted to raise his own army and conquer South America. He wanted to create a new country with him as the boss where you could own slaves. This was quite recently, this is just like 150 years ago. And so that's exactly what he did. In 1853, he took 45 men, that's not that many people, and he attacked Mexico. Didn't work. In 1855, he took just 60 men, and he attacked Nicaragua. And he actually managed to set himself up as the president of a whole country, Nicaragua. Not for very long though, because in 1856 he took a few more men and attacked Costa Rica, which was to the south of Nicaragua. He lost that, and then he attacked Honduras, which was to the north, and he lost that, and they captured him, and he died. But the point was, here's a guy, just 150 years ago, acting exactly like Sir Francis Drake, one of the great pirates from 500 years ago. And people had forgotten this word, filibustero, and they applied it to him. And he, and a few people like him, were called the Filibusters. And there were North Americans who came down into Central America to try and set up their own countries. So, when Captain Haddock tells these people that they're brutes, filibusters, nitwits, steamrollers, and abacadarians, what he's saying is you're the kind of people that have so little respect for laws and other people that you will raise your own private army, attack another country, and just take their stuff for your own. That's a pretty bad thing to do, right? So that's why he calls them filibusters. And the kind of person he's thinking of is William Walker, or maybe Sir Francis Drake. Right, and so that gets us down here. But how does that turn into filibuster up here? This guy reading a kid's book in the Senate. A little bit silly. But it's not quite the same as raising your own army and trying to attack a country and setting yourself up as the president. But it turns out that both of them were considered just not really in the spirit of things. And so the behaviour of William Walker as a filibuster, the word just moved up and started being used as somebody who talks to stop other people making a decision. Here's another American president, Barack Obama, saying, "What? That's a little bit weird. Aren't these two things very different?" But that's just the way that words work. All right, so let's just go over this again. So we start off with Filibuster in the Netherlands in about 1500. That gets turned into Freebooter, Filibuster, and Filibustero for the next 200 years. Actually, in the time of the bigwigs, they managed to get rid of pirates. So it's now 100 years later when suddenly they use filibuster down in South America to talk about William Walker, and then for some reason they then use the same word to talk about people talking to stop other people making a decision. So I love this story about how you have one word that travels across the world and across time, slowly changing its meaning. And then it ends up with Captain Haddock shouting it at a car as it drives away from him. Right. Next time, we're going to do one of these words. Gang of thieves, black marketeers, monopolisers, turncoats, officlades, colocents.
Can we do officlades?
I was going to do monopolisers, but do you want to do officlades?
I've got no idea what it is.
Should we do officlades next?
Yeah,
Okay, you can have them both. Monopolisers next time, and then maybe officlades the time after that.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So lesson 4 is going to be monopolisers.
Oh!